Hey everyone, I have Brown here. So I just wanted to take just a couple of minutes to, give my thoughts on something. It's kind of off the cuff, really. I have a few more minutes before I have to, punch back into work. But, my thoughts on certain comic book movies have, been kind of going all over the place lately. I talk with people sometimes, like in face to face, about how certain movies could be improved and how which ones we liked and what have you. But I was kind of curious to hear about the Batgirl movie, because I'm sure a lot of people know this by now, but new management canceled the movie, to a point where it's not going to be shown in theaters, and supposedly it's going to be shelved permanently, as in it's never going to see a live day. Now, in my experience, never say never. I mean, you look at the certain things that were supposedly impossible or never existed, i.e., things like the Snyder Cut, and look what happened. I mean, that ended up seeing the light of day a couple of years after the fact, and it turned out to be a smash hit. And so anyway, though, I guess with the whole Batgirl thing, I'll admit, I don't know a whole lot about what the story was, or what the what the behind the scenes drama was, or what have you. But at the same time, I do know that one of the reasons that they pulled the plug on it was that it supposedly looked bad, as in, a movie that has X number of millions of dollars thrown into it, should look like it has that amount of money thrown into it. But apparently, it was a movie that, by, the accounts of those who actually saw it, like, say, in test screenings and what have you, it looked like a really, subpar movie, considering the budget that was involved. And I mean, I didn't really have any investment in the movie, either way. I mean, I wasn't for it, I wasn't against it. But at the same time, I was somewhat intrigued about the casting of Brendan Fraser as Firefly. And Brendan Fraser is an actor I've really come to appreciate over the years. I mean, I have a lot of fond memories of him from, say, George of the Jungle and The Mummy, and also Gods and Monsters and School Ties. I mean, he's a very versatile actor. And then, of course, he was... He played the voice of Cliff Steele, aka Robot Man, in the really awesome series Doom Patrol. And he was, just one in a cast full of excellent actors. But I mean, Mother, he pulled that his weight on that one. And I think that in terms of like career resurgence and what have you, I think that was probably, if not that, then I think it was at the very least, a step in the right direction for sure. And then of course, he's about to come out with a movie called The Whale, and by all accounts, I mean, that's his comeback performance, and I'm really wanting to see that movie. I'm glad that he's gotten all this adulation and standing ovation and acclaim for the role. And I think that he's always been a really good actor, and by all accounts a really nice guy. And so I'm glad he's having a comeback. So all that being said, I was definitely wanting to see his take on the character of Firefly, who's a very spooky villain in the Batman mythos. I mean, mainly because of the fact that he's a firebug, and he's an arsonist who's got a gimmick of literally flying around and setting things on fire. And so you think one arsonist, just an ordinary arsonist, is bad enough, but then you take someone who actually knows how to put a suit together and fly around causing damage, and you're in a city where someone like Batman, or in this case Batgirl, are the only ones who have a chance of actually taking you down, and the police department's helpless, supposedly. I mean, it's a pretty spooky situation for if you're a civilian on the ground. And so I was definitely wanting to see Brendan Fraser's take on the part, considering how much nuance he has as an actor. But anyway, I guess when I found out that they were shelving the movie either indefinitely or forever, depending on who you talk to, that was the one thing about the movie that I was actually looking forward to seeing. Brendan Fraser as Firefly. I didn't really care about anything else in the movie. I just I was curious about how Brendan Fraser would bring that character to life, and then of course see how the rest of the movie held up compared to that. But since that's not going to happen, well, I guess either we'll never know, or we won't know until a few years after the fact. So I think and someone actually brought up a good point about how the Flashpoint movie is going forward. But the problem with that is the actor Ezra Miller, who is, by all accounts, a complete nut job behind the scenes. I mean, I'll be honest, Ezra Miller was not an actor I would have picked for Barry Allen. I'm kind of in the camp of the actor who played Barry Allen on the Flash TV show was near perfect casting for the character of Barry Allen, aka the Flash. And Ezra Miller playing the part, I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of liked some of his work in the director's cut, but at the same time, when I look at him, I don't see Barry Allen. I mean, I see someone who looks, I don't know. Ezra Miller always had a very effeminate look to him. And I mean, if that's your look, that's your look. But at the same time, if you have a character who's known for not being effeminate, and then you have a character, or you have an actor who is effeminate playing the part, it just sort of, I don't know, with me, it was just kind of a case of mixed results. I mean, some of his humor I liked, and seeing his powers on screen, I mean, that was pretty cool, but I didn't really buy him as Barry Allen, though. But at the same time, with all the behind-the-scenes drama that's been going on with him, I mean, if it had been anyone else, like if it had been just, some ordinary Joe Schmo, I mean, he would have been thrown in jail, a long time ago. But, I guess because he's a celebrity and, he's got the right connections, he just keeps getting slapped on the wrist and what have you. But anyway, though, the point with him I'm trying to make is that his movie's going forward, whereas the Batgirl movie is canceled. And I'm not like a huge Kevin Smith fan, but this is something I'm kind of in agreement with him on, because he was saying something along the lines of the Ezra Miller Flash movie, being given the green light, despite everything that's gone on with Ezra Miller, and then the Batgirl movie being canceled, it's not a good look. And that's actually something I have to agree with him on, as well as with other people, because it just, like I said, with the Batgirl movie, I'm not really invested either way. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I just wanted to see Brendan Fraser as Firefly. I mean, that was my main, if I was interested in the movie at all, I mean, that would be the main thing right there. But that being said, I mean, even if, say, for instance, they decided to cancel it because of politics of actors or people who made the movie, I don't know if that was a factor. But even if that's the case, let's say, for example, the people who decided to pull the plug on the movie, let's say one of the reasons was politics. I mean, on one hand, there are definitely politics that I agree with and then politics I don't agree with. But that being said, even if a movie is, shall we say, full on woke, like, say, the 2016 all-female Ghostbusters movie, I mean, by all accounts, I mean, that was not a good movie, but, it got the green light, and it was given a chance, to be in the theater and what have you. And as time has gone on, it's been regarded as not such a good movie, to a point where most people, just kind of ignore it. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is with the Batgirl movie, I think that I don't know if it was if it was going to be full on woke, or, if there was a political factor involved. But if there was a political factor involved, I don't think that's really fair, because even if it's, say, made up of politics that I don't agree with, I do think still, though, at the very least, it should be given a chance to be seen, and for people to make their own opinion on the matter. Then again, maybe, DC or whoever, made the right decision by pulling the plug. I mean, because, I mean, maybe it was one of those things where, unfortunately, the end result would have made the movie, and anyone involved with it, a laughing stock. Because, I mean, if it was really as bad as they're saying it was, I mean, as far as it looking like a subpar effort when there's a ridiculous amount of money being thrown at it, I mean, and plus, they're trying to, contain the damage with Ezra Miller. And so I guess Warner and DC are just all over the place right now. And maybe, they were already investing too much money in the Flash movie, and they felt like, well, hey, we can either, cancel the Flash movie, or we can pull the plug on the Batgirl movie. We can try reshoots on one, but pull the plug on the other. And I guess, the Batgirl movie, lost. So, I mean, like I said at the beginning, I don't know the whole story, but just from what I've heard, though, I mean, I really think either they should have given both movies the green light. Maybe not, I mean, if they're concerned about both movies being bad, then maybe, they could have downplayed, the publicity tour or something like that. Or they could have, I don't know, in an ideal world, they could have, canceled both movies and come up with something, better, than what they originally had. I don't know. But anyway, I was just wanting to throw some thoughts out there, about the Batgirl movie. If anyone has any feedback on that, just, feel free to drop a line, let me know. Hopefully my rambling made some sense. But y'all have a good day. Talk to y'all later. Bye.